Today we're taking a look at my short film, The Movie Star. And be warned, spoilers ahead. All right, just a little walk around here of the set before it is set designed or art directed. This will be the security guard's desk. Here in the studio, this is kind of a warehouse area. That's outside. This will be shot at night, and so we'll do more of a moonlight look in here. Two hallways or corridors, as they're indicated in the script, will be featured, and this is the first one. These are dressing rooms. I wrote this script with this location in mind. It's nice to work in a studio and make a movie about a studio. This is the path the guard will take. And then here is the light. It's not on right now. The studio light will be illuminated later in the movie. And here is corridor number 2, or hallway number 2. Guard will run down here. Back to the main area and grab this phone. It's a prop phone. This is the storage hallway, but it'll play nicely in the movie, I think. It's already set dressed, so to speak. And back over there is the desk, although I'm going to play this as probably 2 separate locations. I won't show the ping pong table.
Ah! Dang, man, you scared the hell out of me.
You the new security guy?
Yeah, look, I need your help.
Action. You know this prop phone, right?
Dang, man, you scared the hell out of me.
You the new security guy?
Yeah, look, I need your help.
If you watch my YouTube videos, you've seen the ping pong table. And now we're in the studio, the green screen stage. Again, if you've seen any of my YouTube work, you've probably seen this in the videos. The working green screen stage. And it's going to play, or it plays, a pretty big part in this movie, in this short film.
First night.
There's been a lot of turnover recently.
That's what I hear.
So you're gonna help me rehearse or not?
Across the room now, kind of a reverse angle. Keep all kinds of gear in here. Bounce cards, foam core, apple boxes, flags, some silks, and a couple other things, some nets, a lot of C-stands. So that's the quick tour of the set, or the locations within the set before they are set up. Okay, continuing the tour here, this is some lighting I have set up. This is an aperture little spotlight. I use this one a lot. It's the LS Mini 20D, dimmable, and it's also, you can spot the beam in or out. Over here, got a microphone. This is a Rode NTG4 Plus. I've got it on a stand. Sometimes on these small crew jobs, it's good if you're stationary to have your mic up on a stand like this. That way you don't have to have someone hold it. Over here, I've got a Falcon Eyes LED light. I've shown this in a couple of videos. And behind it, I've got another Falcon Eyes light. These are both soft lights. This one's a big, powerful key light. I've got a grid on there, a softbox. Got diffusion and a grid, actually. And then this is just a good soft light. It's more of a, you could use it like as a kicker light or just a little accent light. And then right here, I've got, well, I don't have anything in there at the moment. This is the rig that I'm going to put the iPhone in. It's a B-script, and I've got a little Rode Video Micro on there. It's really just a reference mic because we'll shoot with that mic right there, and then I'll sync it in post. That's called doing double system sound. We'll record it to a Zoom recorder. So this is the gear, the initial setup, and we'll have a few more things coming in a little while that will be part of the set, but also be used in the actual movie, talking about more gear. And I did a video previously about the actual camera gear I used. I'll put a card here to check that out. But I shot on an iPhone XS Max, and for the moving shots, I used a Movi Cinema Robot. And then the second camera I used was a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K. This short film was done for the FiLMiC Pro contest, and so you're allowed to use multiple cameras. Action. Now the production behind the scenes, I didn't shoot a lot of. One of the downsides to having such a small crew. I'm directing the scene and shooting behind the scenes. But I got enough to highlight a few things and give you a look behind the curtain on how we put this together. So shooting on the iPhone here, and if you look right above her, you can see the microphone and that little aperture spotlight, which I really love, and I use that throughout this entire film. And I used it as a backlight in this scene, but then the key light here was my big LED lighting the entire stage, and it's behind that 8x silk. This is actually a frame grab from the actual movie. The movie itself has a behind the scenes look, of course. I'm shooting with FiLMiC Pro here, 4K, 24 frames per second, and I'm using the flat color profile. Went with flat instead of log V2 because this was lower light, and I tend to stick with flat in those situations. Action. All right, now here's a reverse angle of that same shot. And here the mic is out of the frame on the right-hand side, using the same big LED with the 8x silk as the key light. And then back in the far right corner, you can see the bright outline of the falconized light, the square light that I highlighted during the gear section.
What are you doing here?
I'm here to rehearse. Glad you showed up.
Nobody told me anything about a rehearsal tonight. Nobody's supposed to be back here.
Okay, now we're out of the main studio, and we shot all this with a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera.
You know this prop phone, right?
Dang, man, you scared the hell out of me.
So I've got the same falconized LED here, bouncing it into the ceiling. Then the little aperture spotlight, using it as a backlight. And then the mic is on the stand again, which really works great. And then you might have noticed haze or some smoke in the air, and so I am using a smoke machine. This is just a little cheap one you can buy at a party supply store. But we did have some challenges. Some kind of an alarm, but luckily you don't run it while you're actually shooting, so it worked out fine, but it was a little bit disconcerting. And you always want to make sure you even the smoke out. It's not actually supposed to look like smoke in the air. It just adds atmosphere. And now the reverse angle of the janitor. I flopped the lights around, and then I moved the bigger falconized LED in closer. I'm now using the same aperture light as his backlight. And then of course the same setup for the boom mic. I do this for interviews too. It's just a really great way to work. And then over there on the far right is the smaller falconized light. That one really ended up being kind of the quasi key light for the janitor.
They told me you were starting tonight. Hey, I like to get something to eat before I scrub the toilet. You want to go grab breakfast?
No, listen, please. Something happened, I need your help.
To learn more about smartphone video and mobile filmmaking, be sure to check out the other videos on our channel. Or consider enrolling in one of our online courses. Master the FiLMiC Pro app and learn about smartphone video and cinematography. And we also have a filmmaking podcast. Links are in the description. So on part 2, I'm going to go over post-production, and that'll include color correction and color grading, both with the iPhone footage like this, and also using Blackmagic RAW. I use both DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro for this process. And then I'll also go over how we did the visual effects shots here. This really is the big moment in the film, so I'll go over how we staged it and how we added the various CGI and effects in post-production. Now remember, all this right here was shot on an iPhone. The red camera was actually just a prop. Hope you enjoyed seeing how we put this together. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Blake Calhoun. Action. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.
Ever since Bobby left for the war, things just haven't been the same. I don't know that I can go on living like this.